what a phenomenal, phenomenal evening. I'm Lucia Drummond. I'm your host this evening, and it's evening as we just the love, but also the talent, sport, and the community right here in the beautiful. Behind me, you can. I'm standing in the cricket stadium because this is not just many legends, and when we look at stars, women athletes coming out of the BOLAND tonight is a fantastic night because we're celebrating all of that. Now I'm joined by phenomenal people right here, and you're going to get to meet so many of them as we have panel discussions, and you meet the passion behind this evening's organization. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Great hearts behind this evening, and one of them, Noel Bastian, welcome.
Thank you.
I want to just, before I hand it over to you, tell us a little bit more about the heart of what's happening here.
Thank you, Lucia. Thank you for your presence here and your willingness to join us as well. Tonight is it's actually a celebration of football in the Cape Winelands, and you cannot celebrate without friends. So we've got all our friends here. People that their heartbeat within this region, may it be in a sporting platform or within the municipality or in business. Sport is a big thing in the BOLAND area. So we are, from our company, which is FFG SPORTS, very proud to be associated, and we also enthusiastic about the future and the things that we're still going to do. Tonight is about planting that seed. And getting things moving, especially if we take into consideration the time after COVID where we couldn't practice and have these activities. So we're grateful for tonight, and especially for everyone that came up and to be part of this event.
For those watching from home, what can they expect from the panel discussions today?
I think let's if I tell them now, they maybe not going to watch. So let's give them an opportunity to engage. Don't move away from your screen, as they say on TV. So the expectation is to actually learn and to create a dialogue of where they can get involved. So if the viewers that is not here, if you want to get involved with the football and the movement that we are busy with, you are free to contact us and get involved and become a part of this exciting initiative.
Oh, fantastic.
Yes.
So let's see who's on the panel this evening.
Thank you. So tonight we have Mr. Edward Haynes here. But before I welcome on that side, I want to actually just say welcome to everybody that made their way here tonight to this beautiful location. BOLAND Cricket Stadium, what a beautiful evening, what a beautiful venue. Everyone that's here, you all look awesome. Tonight, Lucia asked me now, what is the theme? We've got 3 sessions, and this is the first session, protocol, observe, but we want to just welcome Mayor von Schlicht, Mayor of the Cape Winelands District Municipality. Can we give a hand up? We also have the President, Mr. Ndegane, from the President of Cape Winelands, from SAFA Cape Winelands. Welcome, sir. And then we also have the Municipal Manager, Mr. Henry Prince. Mr. P.T. Williams, Director. Is it Enrico?
Yeah.
Cupido.
Yes.
Give him a hand, please. And he's the Secretary General of SAFA Cape Winelands, Mr. Daniso. And then last but not least, we have Mr. Edward Haynes. He's a director on FFG Sports, and he will be facilitating this session. Thank you, Edward. Good luck.
Thank you, Noel. Can everybody hear me clearly? As our producer said, let's relax, guys. This is a chat among friends. This is not a who wants to be a millionaire or an examination that we're writing or a screen test for a Hollywood movie. We are here to celebrate the talent in this awesome province and this awesome region that we live and work in, and we're so blessed. I mean, if you just look outside, this is free therapy that we see outside the window there. I don't need a psychiatrist. I look at this field and I feel a million miles better. So it's my pleasure to facilitate panel 1. And the topic that we've chosen for panel 1 is the why, you know. All the clever people in psychology says if you figure out your why, you can withstand any how. Yes. And this is what we want to ascertain from our esteemed guest tonight. And I'm gonna ask each of them 1 or 2 questions. And like I said, we're going to have a dialogue. It's not an interrogation. It's about learning from each other, and so on. So I want to start with the rose among the thorns. I love the fact that she's the lone female ranger here in the panel. The Honorable Dr. van Schlicht. Doctor, thank you so much for your presence here tonight. My first question to you is, your face is framed by that beautiful banner of the Cape Winelands district. And I want to ask you, what makes this district so special in your eyes?
Thank you, Edward. This is a very passionate answer now. I live in this district for 67 years, if I may say.
Wow, let's give a round of applause for that.
So this is my passion. But let me start to answer your question directly to say the most outstanding characteristic of this area is, of course, our people.
Yay.
Our people. Secondly, our scenery. You've referred to our scenery. If you drive through this whole area, our scenery is to die for. It's awesome. It's world class. Thirdly, of course, our sport. We have rugby, we have cricket, we have women's cricket, and after tonight, hopefully we have football amongst all our team of sport. And we use the sport in our area exactly to unify our whole district of Cape Winelands. Yes. So yes, and then of course we say in the Cape Winelands we have 1,000 things to do, and then some wine.
Maya, thank you for that last bit. I work for the Distel company. So you will see that we have some Nederburg wine around here. In fact, we are sitting at the Nederburg end of the cricket field. So your reference to wine is quite apt and quite spot on. We have some of the best wines in the world in this area. But you touched a little bit on sport, and of course our heart in FFG Sports and among everybody here, our hearts beat for sport. I have a statistic that I always quote. It's not researched. You won't find it in any academic literature, but it's my own metric. And I say if you're born in this region, you have a 20% chance of becoming a Springbok in any sporting code of your choice.
Yes.
So there's something in the water. There's something in the soil. And Maya, in your view, you know, what does sport do for a great district municipality like the Cape Winelands?
Unconditionally, I can say, categorically, I can say, sport in this district is a unifying element. Yes. It's a unifying factor. And nowhere where we travel in this area can we see the unification in our district as on the sports field.
Great stuff.
So that is why we, as the Cape Winelands, is a friend to sport in our area, and also after tonight, hopefully, and Piti, to soccer or football in this area. That is what we aim, and why we will throw money behind this, to unify and to contribute to the unification in our area. Of course, secondly, we would also like to create opportunities to our people, to our youngsters. You have referred earlier on to the aftermath of COVID, and I'm sad to say that our young people really are hugely without hope. They are tired, they don't hope, they're not positive. Sport can make a difference in their lives, and we can create new opportunities for our youngsters in our area. And we have to put our mind to that deliberately to make sure that we do not lose our youngsters in our area. And then lastly, I would say we also see sport in our area as an economic vehicle. We bring feet to all our areas. I mean, everybody in this hall tonight, I hope you will stop for a chocolate to take back home to the lady, or something to drink on the way back. We bring feet and we bring in new money to our areas. This exact venue where we are now tonight is housing the T20 women's cricket. the numbers of people running through the Drakensberg area is enormous. And they invest in our areas. So one of the goals of the Cape Winelands District Municipality, also of our core functions, is to expand on opportunities for economic growth. We use sport for that reason.
Thank you, Mayor. Can we have a round of applause for that? You know, I love people with passion, because I'm also one. So thank you for that. Said with so much passion and conviction that we believe every word. So thank you, Mayor. Next, I'd like to move to Mr. Henry Prince. Firstly, I'd like to congratulate you. I want to call you Mr. Clean Audit, if I may. Can we have a round of applause? I don't think anybody in the room has any inkling what it takes in a large municipality like this to get consecutive and numerous clean audits. It takes a lot. 9 clean audits. So you are formally dubbed Mr. Clean Audit. You can start your rap career as DJ Clean Audit or something like that. But all jokes aside, thank you for what you do. Thank you for the passion. I want to start with you by asking you, I think a lot of people don't know what a municipal manager does. You know, we read this fancy title. We pretend that we know because we don't want to look bad in front of our friends. But can you tell us a little bit about what do you do?
Thank you, Edward, and good evening to the audience here today. Let me first divert. Let's give the Proteas ladies a hand first. They've won the semi-final.
Into the final.
And we're into the final, and we are at the home of cricket, in my opinion. Eh? Some would say it's on the other side of our province, but that is the home of cricket. So yes, thank you, Edward. Edward, that's a title. It's called a municipal manager, and if you go further, it would say in some laws that I become the head of the administration and also the accounting officer of the municipality. And with that comes certain responsibilities, but moreover also accountability. So I am a general manager, but I can only succeed, and I am only as good as what you've called now in terms of Mr. Clean Audit, with the help of a colleague like Pity, and there are many others within the organization. We have 500 employees, and each one of them have a contribution. My good friend Goodman is also in my caban. He's also here. So I think it's moreover, it's a people's person, people manager in the end, and then making sure that you lead. And what I would normally say is you need to lead by example, and some of the principles of that is that you should have integrity. You lead with integrity, and just be there for the others. But I'm standing on the shoulders of a lot of people. Let me put it that way.
Thank you, Mr. MM. Color me educated after that answer. I now can officially say I know what an MM does. Thank you. My second question to you, and you've touched on the A word. You said the A word, administration. I'd like to ask you, because a large part of your job involves superb and superlative administration. And what, in your view, what role does great administration play in the business of sport?
Yeah, you know, it's the same whether you're in sport, whether you're in government, whether you're in private sector. I think the principles of good governance, that's the most important part that one should always subscribe to and try to deliver on. So I've used the word integrity, and I think that is important, but also to be transparent. Because when you communicate with our stakeholders and those that placed us here, I think is that we should do that with transparency, and there's nothing to hide. Yes. Because if we're in a position, the position means nothing if you do not have the support of those that have put you there, and if you deliver to those that have put you there. But also important in administration is competency.
Yes.
So if you do not have competent people and officials, employees, even in sport, if you play the sport, if you do not have the skills, or you don't have the aptitude, you're not going to succeed. So you need competent people to do it. And I'm very happy that, and I'm now going to refer to the VP because I know VP Pro is also in local government. And that's good that we give back in another way, like VP is doing, like Mr. Ndagane is doing, SG. And I think we need the right people in the right positions in order to succeed. So it is important that we do that, and then accountability.
Yes.
Do not shy away. If you have done something wrong, man up, own up, but do not make the same mistake. That's how we learn.
Yes.
But we not only learn from our mistakes, but let's also learn from our successes.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Can we
you,
have a round of
Edward.
applause for Prince? Your final statement made me think of a saying that I once heard that says, sometimes you win, sometimes you learn. And isn't that true? Thank you.
Yeah.
You may hand the mic to Mr. Williams there. Mr. P.T. Williams, good evening.
Hello,
You must be the happiest guy about the Protea women in the
I
room.
am indeed.
I've never met a bigger cricket fan than Mr. Williams. He's got the longest title of anybody that I've ever met. His business card is an A4 size. Because he is the executive director for community development and planning services in the Cape Winelands district municipality. That's why his business card is bigger than ours. Mr. Williams, welcome and thank you for your presence here tonight. Also, thank you for your tireless work with us over the last few weeks to get this evening and this weekend, in place. You represent a pocket of excellence in this country where we struggle to generate electricity, but we can put events together for sport. So well done. My question to you, Mr. Williams, is, community is in your title, and in your view, what does sport do for community? What does it do? And
Yes.
I think it's a question that seems simple, but I think there's depth there.
Yes, thank you very much, and also thanks for having me. I think my leadership have already spoken. The Cape Winelands is everything about the people, everything for every community that are in the Cape Winelands. So, whilst the mayor is the first lady, the first citizen of the Cape Winelands, it means that she represents all of us that are living within the Cape Winelands. So we have a slogan, and the mayor is pushing it hardly, that we must make sure that whatever we do, we never exclude somebody, we never leave somebody behind. So sport is but one of those vehicles that we use. So sport, and that's why the Cape Winelands is involved in various sport codes. Tonight it is about soccer, and you're right, we've come a long way with our soccer colleagues, and they know that the mayor and the Cape Winelands will be there for everybody. It is our mandate. But, however, we are very particular with who we partner with. So the Cape Winelands decided we're going to partner with SAFA, Cape Winelands, precisely because they got all their ducks in a row. Their government structure is in order. There's no leadership challenges. So that is actually what we want to go and duplicate and replicate within our communities. Coming to our communities, we want to create hope. We want to make sure that sport can give hope there and make the difference, creating that opportunities for the youngsters. And I can vouch tonight here, and the soccer colleagues will speak later on. We've got living examples, and some of them is in the hall even tonight, of sports stars that make it. And we're going to use them as role models within our society to make sure that we leave no one behind. So community is for everything for Cape Winelands, regardless of what facet, whether it's tourism, whether it's sport now, where it can also be economic development, it can also be social and rural development. As I said, it actually cut across all those multi-sectors, so to say.
Well said, Mr. Williams. Thank you so much. Can we have a round of applause for
Thank
Mr.
you.
Williams? The custodian of community development in this municipality, this district municipality, and I think it can't be overstated how important healthy communities are for the development, not only of the Cape Winelands district, but of this country and indeed this continent. So thank you for your contribution. I'd like you to ask to hand over the mic to our other colleague there. I now present to you Mr. Enrico Kibido. Mr. Kibido is a multifaceted man. He came from a corporate background, but his current work he bobs and weaves like a good boxer between government structures and private business. He's got a very particular way of navigating and traversing that very tricky expanse. So thank you for your presence here tonight. I just want to ask you, coincidentally, he is the ambassador for the BOLAND Africa Business Network. So he plays a vital role. If I put it frankly, He brings euros to our country. Let's speak it in a language that we can all understand. So, Enrico, thank you. One question for you. I think it will build on the other speakers. From your perspective, what does sport do within the fabric of a multi-layered society like ours?
Yeah, thank you very much, and thank you for the invitation. Sport is a unifier. It's been mentioned before, and everybody can play sport. And we've grown up like that. All of us have. We've played all types of sports, and sport is also an outlet, and also a means for our communities to uplift themselves. And I always use the analogy that the sportsmen that are out there that we identify with have come from our communities. And those are the people that we need to get closer to us and then show these youngsters that there are opportunities and, just to lift their gaze that there is something bigger and better out there and everybody is at the means to do that. And those are important parts of it. And with sport, education is also very important. And I'm actually involved with an ex-South African cricketer, and we are looking to make the Cape Winelands part of our project that we are busy with.
Oh,
and,
can we get a hand for that?
I can say that without any contradiction that we will be making a real impact within the Cape Winelands District Municipality and showing what we can do. And it's going to be on a multi-pronged approach where and the foundation is based on 3 principles, which is nutrition, sport, and education. So those 3 parts make up a whole. And you can't feed or you can't teach a hungry child, or you can't do anything with them. So that is the basis of what we're going to do. So I know we are ready for that.
Great stuff. Thank you, Enrico. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. We're going to go to Mr. Daniso, second last, and then we'll go to the President of SAFA Cape Winelands. Mr. Daniso, Mr. Secretary General.
Thank you.
Again, I want to ask you, in your role, I mean, you do the communications and the support. Just tell us a little bit more. I think you're actually the engine room of what's going on there in SAFA Cape Winelands.
Thank you very much, Mr. Edwards. I must also greet everyone in the house. Basically, the only thing that I can just mention on my job description is only support, because I'm actually a support head to make sure that all my subordinates in the department are working and then they are doing all the operationalization according to what the General Council has agreed on. And the only reason that I'm only putting the word support is because without that support, there's nothing that can go on. There is a poor boy back in the informal settlement who has decided to render his heart to SAFA Cape Winelands to say, I cannot do everything. I can do only a certain percentage, but I must just render my heart to SAFA Cape Winelands to do the rest. Now, for us not to breathe, not to beat, in terms of what the poor boy is expecting, then we wouldn't be living the dream of that poor boy, because that poor boy has decided to render his heart. So even if we feel like not doing anything because of our hardships, our trials and tribulations, our family issues, because of knowing exactly that there is someone out there in the community who has rendered his heart to art, then we have to rise above occasion and use the heart so that whatever that is a dream of that poor boy can become a reality. Even this platform that we have today is live to other people who have network and access to internet, and because of them seeing this, they are hoping that even though they thought that is a summer who seem to be very distant, is coming closer because there is a heart that is breathing on their behalf.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Mr. Daniso. Well said, well said. Thank you very much. And last but definitely not least, we're ending with Mr. Ndagana. Is it Ndagana or ne? Ndagana, I got it right. First prize for me. Mr. Ndagana is the president of SAFA Cape Winelands. That's why we're ending our panel discussion with him. I think he's the VIP here tonight. Sir, thank you so much for your presence here tonight, but also thank you for your role that you play, your leadership. And my question is around leadership. If you can briefly just tell us, speak to us a little bit about your leadership structure and how do you drive the outcomes of SAFA Cape Winelands through your leadership structure?
Thank you very much, Eddie. I think, firstly, let me recognize I've just seen the vice chairperson of SAFA Western Cape entering the building. He's also the president of Eden.
Welcome, welcome.
Chris Chawana there. I just want to observe that protocol. And also, I think I also need to recognize there's Garrett Ngacha sitting there. He's from the Garrett Ngacha Foundation. His focus is on youth development. Recently, he's been running under 17 trials as well as tournaments to get our youth into our structure. I saw here Rich there, one of our specialists in terms of fighting relegation for PSL and NSL teams. Is also in the house. Not disregarding others, okay? I just said, let me mention those because they are playing a very prominent role in our football structure in the Cape Winelands itself. And I must mention, Garrett is a former professional player, played for not Mbegweni Sundowns, Mamelodi Sundowns, played for Morocco Swallows, Jomo Cosmos, and a lot of
Wow,
teams.
let's get another round.
He is from Mbegweni. He comes from our structures, Mayor. And it's very important that people like him, we should support them with the foundation and the effort that they're trying to put in place in terms of getting these young boys, you know, from the street, away from crime, away from abuse of drugs and alcohol. Now, coming back to your question, look, SAFA Cape Winelands is demarcated alongside the jurisdiction of Cape Winelands District Municipality since 2006. We cover Langeberg, we cover Witzenberg, Stellenbosch, Drakenstein, and Brede Valley. We cover all those 5 areas. We've got structures there. There's a regional executive committee which I'm leading with 13 ladies and gentlemen. And then we've got in each area, we've got an LFA which is led by a president, a chairman, with the local executive committee, and one of them is George Rueda. There is standing from Stellenbosch. I've also seen others coming from other areas. So within these structures, as we call our constitution, our statutes, we emanate from there. It is that statute that informs us as to what our duty is in terms of football development. Our focus is football development. We need to look at that. As the SG is saying, we create an enabling environment for the young people to be able to come off the street, you know, and try and make something out of their lives. Because there's a lot of contestation out there. You know, there are attractions, there's drugs, there's crime, there's everything. Now, there is that space that consumes them. So if we not using this vehicle of SAFA Cape Winelands, is using it effectively, bringing them into the structures. And, you know, just last year we had SuperSport United in the SAFA Cape Winelands region coming to scout under 17 boys that they could take to Pretoria and put in there. That is what we are trying to create as SAFA Cape Winelands and then football development in this area.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Chair. I'm going to end our panel discussion by just asking Chairperson Nagana very briefly the relationship between SAFA Cape Winelands and the district municipality for the last few years. In 1 or 2 sentences, how would you describe it?
Eddie, the relationship that we have with Cape Winelands District Municipality is very important. It's critical. They are the custodian of all the facilities around here. And for us to be able to have access to those facilities, we need to have this relationship. But it does not end there. You know, Ompiti, just to tell them, we invited Cape Winelands District Municipality into our strategic session last year around May, where we did our planning, you know, for the next 5 years, and where they listened to us. We made this plea to them that we do not have the resources. You see, let's call stones. Corporate is not looking into football to invest funds. We are like you know, this baby that has been adopted. There's a lot of money that they are putting in rugby, in cricket and others. But when it comes to football, I don't know whether is it our historical background where we came from. Within a week after we've spoken to Cape Winelands District Municipality on PT and the senior manager, you know, we had a meeting with the councillors. And really, from that meeting, the seed was plowed. where we had a strategic agreement in place, where we met business of this area, where we met FFG and the others. And it is because of that seat that we're sitting here. And we can really not overemphasize the importance of that relationship. It's not only financial, and as I said, facilities. Last time, Mayor, we did not, I'm going to end up now. Yeah. Last time we did not submit an application for funding as we're supposed to do. And we lost out on a substantial amount of money for our development. You know what they did? They said, leave that side of the money. We'll put you on our procurement processes.
Wow.
And every activity.
Round of applause for that.
That is the type of relationship that we want. Thank you very much. We really appreciate that.
Thank you,
Thank you, MM.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you, Mr. President. Ladies and gentlemen, as you've heard, with that, we've come to the end of our panel, the first panel. If I've run over a little bit on time, I apologize to the program director, but I think it was a great discussion. And I think if I distill it down to a single sentence, what we've heard tonight is that there's hope for this region, for this country, and for this continent. And that fills us with joy. Thank you so much. Handing over back to Lucia.
Yes. Okay. One of the things that's absolutely evident. One of the things that's absolutely evident is that community is such a big part of sport and making sure that it is possible. Now, another thing that's always evident when it comes to sport is the refreshments. So this evening, I'm talking to the master of refreshments, mixologist from the Big Five, and I want to talk about what you are making today. Tell us a little bit more.
All right, the first one I'm going to do is the Cosmopolitan. It came evident in Six in the City, where it really boomed. It was always a
You don't have to tell me.
That's where it really grew of what the cocktail is, but it came back way before that. But before we do the cocktail, we always chill it. They chill the glass, the cocktail sells refreshed. It's always based with vodka, triple sec, and then some cranberry.
Okay, of course.
And balance it out. Sweeten it, because ladies love sweet stuff, right? Add some sugar to it.
Okay, now us ladies do like the sweet stuff. I wonder how the guys feel about drinking a pink drink.
It's not such a bad thing to have a cosmopolitan for gentlemen, but there is something for the guys as well. Just a gin sour. We'll get to that one.
Okay, I must say, I personally love myself a cosmopolitan, like the fashion ladies do. It's absolutely delicious. I can't wait to taste it. And of course, you can see this is a mixologist. This is not a out of the box. This is a mixologist, like a chef, but for drinks, right?
Liquid chef. So we always find just keep that particles behind. Mind the mic real quick.
Sure, drinks and a show.
Yeah, always. Goes hand. That's just some zest.
This is definitely taking it to the next level. Oh, thank you. All right, I'm definitely going to have fun. What else are you making for us tonight?
The other one, more for the gentlemen. So ladies and gents can have it. It's a gin sour. It goes way back. Way back. One of the oldest cocktails. Like a gin tonic. It's one of the oldest cocktails in the world.
Are you telling me in those days where men used to sit in the cigar lounge, talk business, is that where this was discovered?
Not men. It was more discovered for ladies, to get that appeal and get them to the bars. Because men tend to do the whiskey with a cigar, newspaper, it's always a gentleman's thing. But how do we get the ladies involved, And that's where the cocktails comes in.
Okay, fantastic. I'm not complaining. Keep them coming. Keep them coming. But I think I must book my driver too.
You're definitely going to have to do that.
Tell us a little bit more about your business. Now, of course, it's Big Five. you here, and we want to have these events. We want to make things exciting, and just watching you do what you do, this magic happen here, is exciting. So, do you do this for events, weddings, all the sort?
All of the above, all of them. I do corporate functions and I do activations with like Hard FM and all those places, and then like I see FM also. They tend to get me out there as well. So there's always something happening, you know, private events, weddings, Ali Blur as well. I always go out there. So yeah, and birthday parties as well. Even if I have ladies night, I can do that as well.
Okay, so Burton, tell me, you know, the ladies love cocktails, but is there a cocktail that you find, okay, the guys are also interested in this one?
Yeah, definitely. There's quite a few. There's the whiskey sour. That is based with all the bourbons, in a bourbon. We tend to go with Jack Daniels, you know, because of that flavor, the smokiness of it. And then there is cocktails like old-fashioned, I mentioned that. What else is there? All the sours there is.
You know, when I watch these movies, sometimes you find this man, he says, don't order for yourself, I'll order. And then he orders this drink, and they have this block of something, I don't know, I think it's a type of sugar or something, and they crush it, and they do something, some kind of magic, and the girl falls in love. What is your cocktail that you're going to say, you know, if I really want to impress someone, I'm going to make them this cocktail?
It's called the White Lady. Okay. It's based on the gin sour, but what we do is we use some egg white, just create a foam layer around it, and the flavor behind it is amazing. It's a beautiful flavor. So that is one of the cocktails I go to, and in the Cosmopolitan, of course.
Okay, and I definitely think a Cosmopolitan is for that person who likes that sweeter taste. Is cocktail something that people drink in winter? I know we want to stay refreshed in summer. I personally love myself a mojito as well. Yeah. But in winter, what are the cocktails that you make? Do people still want cocktails, or are they turning to the sherries?
Normally they do like entry level, right? To warm up. We do have cocktails like with Campari within it. Warm cocktail, warm feeling behind it, and the whiskey cocktails as well. Very, very, very warm cocktails. So in the winter time, I would suggest people go into whiskey cocktails instead of vodka, gins, or your white rum. So my suggestion. You know.
If someone's there now thinking, you know what, I definitely want to book you, I want to make sure at my next event, I want to make it spectacular, how can people contact you? How do people reach you?
Well, my Facebook page, as it states, Big Five Beverage and Cocktail Consulting. That's where they can go to. And then also Big Five Cocktails. Big Five Cocktails with Burton. And then also my cell phone digits, you know, 062 776 1560. And then also 067 274 8198.
Okay, all the details are there, and I'm sure we'll have it at the bottom of the screen. I've got all these cocktails to enjoy, and I guess you and I should make a bit of a toast, eh?
Of course. Cheers.
What are we toasting to? Soccer, sport?
New beginnings.
I like it.
Cheers.
Ooh. Absolutely, absolutely delicious. We still have a lovely day here, so stay tuned. We're still going to have another panel coming up as well. And it's going to be so interesting because we're going to be talking about the business behind sport. And I think that is such a powerful, powerful thing to learn, especially if you are in sport and you want to take your sport to the next level. So there's so much more to learn here this evening. And of course, while I'm here, and I'm with Burton, I'm going to be enjoying cocktails, but I also want to find out more about what you can do with cocktails and what is something that everybody can do at home. Now, I know when you make a margarita, people usually dip it in sugar or salt or whatever, depending what level you're at. You know, if you're a beginner, you're in sugar, then you go to salt, but you don't dip in, you put zest, rind, you know, you gave it something different. I'm going to try this trick now. But for that person that says, I'm going to have a dinner party, I'm going to have a braai, I want to make something easy and simple, but I want to impress everyone. What is something that just the man on the street can make?
I normally tell people, you know what, my business is such sorts that I train bartenders as well. So if you do want to do something like that, get in contact with me, and I'm come to your house, teach you 5 cocktails, and then after that, you can do whatever you want.
I love that. That actually sounds like a couple's date as well. Learn to make cocktails, eat some sushi, and have a lovely evening.
Definitely. And then I also have a connect with oysters, goes lovely with the cocktails.
Oh, no, I think you're the guy who makes people fall in love. You're the guy who gives the drinks, the oysters, you make it pretty. No one can be in a bad mood. Before we just kind of wrap up and move on to the rest of the show this evening, tell me a little bit more about how you actually got into making cocktails. You know, everyone has this story. Was it this passion? Did you watch a movie and you saw this guy, you know, making moves and you said, I want to do that? Or is it something that just gradually happened?
Well, I was studying accounting.
No. You know, these are the best stories. Wait, let me get comfortable. Okay, you studied accounting. Parents were happy.
Not at all.
Okay.
But I loved accounting. I love numbers. I love doing it. For the first 3 years of varsity, I did accounting and I did bartending on the side to get the extra cash in. And then I fell in love with bartending instead of accounting because I like numbers, but I don't love it. You know, it's good to have. It's not something you want to love. You know, and I fell in love with it. And I started working with the Funky Buddha, and from there I did some classes in Cape Town, and then from there I went to Joburg, and from Johannesburg I went to Dubai. And there I became an international renowned mixologist and bar consultant.
Amazing. I'm thinking anyone who works with you, you know, you've got the creativity, but you're also counting the numbers. You know, you're making sure, hey, how many moles did you put in there? The accounting side coming through, you can't waste a drop, right? So that's absolutely extraordinary. When you made the shift, was it something that you thought, oh my goodness, this isn't going to make sense to anyone? Or was it just natural? It's kind of, you just had to do it?
It just fell on my lap. You know, it's something that just falls on your lap and you fall in love with it and you go with it. You know, when I came back, I thought, what am I going to do now? And I thought, you know what? Why don't I teach people? Why don't I do this for a living? Make the money in our economy, you know, and train youngsters. Like, Gabe, he's 18 years old. He started his first shift earlier today. So I train youngsters, you know, to become something that they never thought is possible, you know, and then send them out, you know. So that's what I do.
That's amazing because you actually have this community part as well, you know, giving people employment, allowing people to use their creativity. And I think that is what is nice because there's a lot of focus on, before it was teacher, lawyer, accountant, right? All those roles. And now people want to be creative. I want to be a social media marketer. I want to work in design. I want to be creative. And this is another creative outlet. But I think a lot of us think, oh, is this a job? You know, the same with being in media. Is it a job, you know? But here you are creating employment and it is a job. Would you say, or would you have seen yourself in this type of job when you started out?
No. Honestly, I wanted to become a chartered accountant and then get my PhD in it as well. That was a dream for me, right? But after my third year, I thought, you know, this is boring. I can't sit in the office the whole day, see one client or two clients a day. You know, I'm a people's person. I love the social life, you know, because I played sports. And that's where that came from. You know, the love for people around me. I draw energy from people, you know, and that's what I love.
I'm sure you not just energy, but stories as well, because like the hairdressers, the barman, also, yes, all the stories. Thank you so much, Burton, for telling us so much about cocktails, educating us, and then, of course, you can contact him and make sure all this fabulousness happens at your next event as well.
Thank you. I'm doing the next part of this evening. And we have a panel of esteemed gentlemen sitting here to my left. What we're going to discover and talk about tonight is the cross-pollination of sports and business within the Cape Winelands. So on my left, I'm going to introduce Eugene Makwelane, a legend in BOLAND sports. Played for the Lions, for the SWD and BOLAND, a successful person in construction as well. Next to him is Alistair October, one of the directors, strategic head of CMD Industries, one of the biggest marginalized PDI exporters of kelp and processors of kelp. Then we have, to his left, Mr. Richard Poole, one of the VPs, one of the stalwarts of Cape Winelands soccer. very astute gentleman as well. And then we have a coach in our midst as well, Vladislav Heric. He's got a long list, a CV, a long list of coaching gigs that he had over the years in South Africa, Serbian by nationality. Let's go over to, I want to start with CMD Industries, Alistair October. Alistair, I know that you have invested in sports over the last couple of years. And the one thing, and he mentioned something very interesting earlier to me tonight as well. He just supplied Newtown rugby field between Wellington and Paarl with a new biostimulants. He'll explain the difference between biostimulants and fertilizer as well at a later stage at the network session. But Alistair, why did you get involved in sports, and where are you involved currently?
Well, thank you very much, Ashley. I think firstly, I became involved in business because I see business as a massive catalyst for change, and you can change things in business simpler than you can in other spheres because you are in control of it. So we started the business because it was my colleague who started the business saw potential in the raw material, and often, you know, it's often like, sorry, I'm a little bit flabbergasted, Ashley. So we started the business because in South Africa, there is not really development of the raw material. And we saw it as an opportunity to get involved, to build our business. We've established our supply chain, and that put us in a position where we could invest. So for the last, not years, but number of months since last year, we've been investing in a football club in the Northern Cape, young controllers, and they did very well. And when the opportunity arose to invest in the field, you know, often when we watch the FFG games on TV, it's just lovely when the pitch looks nice and everything comes together, and it's such a beautiful pitch in Newtown, and we thought we would support it to sort of make it beautiful and to supply the biostimulants. And what we do on that front is where so biostimulants, different to fertilizer, it's speaking to soil health, to the health of the plant, and not so much just nutrition, which is the NPK fertilizer, which is often referred to as fertilizer. But yeah, so that is what we do.
Alistair is a... Thank you, Alistair. And we need more of that in not only in South Africa, but also here in the Western Cape, in the Cape Winelands. We need more businesses to come on board and invest. It's not just a governmental effort, it's a unified effort. Thank you for that, Alistair. Pleasure. Eugene. So, a couple of years ago in the 2010 World Cup, Eugene came up with an excellent... I just want to illustrate tonight how easy it is for corporate South Africa, corporate Western Cape, corporate Cape Winelands to get involved in sports. Eugene leveraged from the 2010 World Cup. If you can elaborate on that and how that partnership worked because of the World Cup we had here.
Thank you, Ed. Thank you very much, and good evening to all the viewers. I think for me, the exciting part of partnerships in a journey of what we have done, specifically in Begweni, we have created partnerships with Pioneer Foods, and in a journey with Pioneer Foods, we've put a youth center there, and after the youth center, there's a gym facility for all people to use as a club and everything. And then we started engaging with Sia because of my relationship with Sia on the rugby side.
Sia Kulisi.
And we started our first rugby field with the Fellies. We built a shoe that then 20% of the shoes did go to the Mbekweni rugby field. And we will be, in April, we'll be opening the field officially about that. So it's important for us that we understand that partnerships and the leverage of, as organizations, you cannot do things alone. You need to use the partnerships, and then you put structures behind us that really can maximize an opportunity, that we can create sustainability in our communities. And also, same as our communities, the journey of looking after the fields and looking after taking the responsibility of saying, this is our field. We're not going to use it, 20 teams played in the field. We're going to maximize this. We're going to book the field because the field needs to be looked after. So it's been a journey, and I can tell you now that I'm proud, Cape Winelands Mayor, to say that if you go to Mbekweni right now, go to the website of SES, Stellenbosch Sport Academy. I've got everything that SES has in Mbekweni. I don't have it in one place, but 2 minutes drive, 1 minute drive, I've got everything that SES had, that have in Mbekweni. So it's important for us to take these initiatives that we have good grounds, we have good rugby field, we've got a good soccer field, we've got an indoor sports center that you can train. We've got the best swimming pool that we've just been upgraded now. So we're busy now looking at the athletic side of things, where we can look at putting a grass on that we can put a grass barn on it, that the kids can have a nice opportunity to practice. But I think it's been really a journey, but I think also what we need to do is partnerships are critical to make this a success.
Eugene, you're one of those people that make us proud. Thank you for that, and keep on doing what you are doing. I was there a couple of months ago. I was astounded at what you did with that center, and I know more is to come. Let's give over to Mr. Richard Poole. Mr. Richard Poole, thank you. All the way from Stellenbosch.
Thank you, Mr. Program Director. I'm really glad to be here.
What is your specific role within the SAFA structures? Can you just elaborate a little bit on that?
Yeah, let me talk more in detail in terms of how we are structured. We have, in terms of our the SAFA directives, we have to have a president, and then we have to have 3 vice presidents, of which one must be a woman. We have the lady in the house here as well. And then Mrs. Ikuku is here somewhere. Each one of us has a specific responsibility. And of course, the whole regional executive members is about 15 members in total, including us. And we as vice presidents has certain clusters, football clusters, that we are responsible for. And my specific responsibility relates to technical and development. So then we have the football cluster, we have the business cluster. You have met Sivu with your engagement, who is part of organizing this whole event tonight. So, and each one of us then have a lot of HODs, regional executive members, that we have to advise in terms of how the way forward in how we can develop football further.
Another question is, how would you like to see corporate SA get on board with your structures, within your structures currently?
Yes, very important questions. I think it is something that we've been grappling with for many years now, and even before I became vice president. And when I became vice president, we had the discussion, and my president alluded earlier in the show about the engagement that we had with Cape Winelands District Municipality, that we are living on grants. You know, we're living on grants. SAFA gave us a monthly grant, SAFA National, and then we are getting grants from Cape Winelands District Municipality and a grant from the Western Cape government. And that was it. We don't have any sponsors, any support. And that's where this whole idea came around, that we should have this talk show so that we can present ourselves to the corporates out there, so that they can get involved in football. Now, as alluded earlier, there's a lot of money being put into the other sports in our area, like the rugby, crickets, and so forth. But soccer is an international sport. It's played by the masses, and it's played by the poor people mostly. You know, a lot of townships and communities, massive amounts of players and people involved in soccer. And I think if we can look at the numbers and compare the numbers of the amount of people involved in each of these sports, you will find that soccer is far outweighing the numbers of participants. But it does not translate into funding. No corporates are involved in this masses. And we, as the President alluded, we need to get these youngsters motivated so that they can think, so that they can get them off the street, so that they can participate in organized events.
Yeah.
And sport is one of the biggest organized events that we can keep them busy with so that they don't get distracted.
Yeah.
And sport can give them hope, that there's not only a future in terms of soccer, but also in terms of the way they live their lives.
Yeah.
So that's very important. That's where we see that we are not just soccer administrators, but we are also need to give life orientation, in terms of life orientation. So that's very important.
And I want to commend you. We had a workshop here a couple of months ago, and what we picked up is that there was no egos and pride within your structures. We couldn't pick it up, and that is how we're going to move forward. As one, no ego, no pride. So thank you for allowing us to be involved with that.
Thank you very much.
Then we have a Serbian coach. Vladislav, you know what stood out? Why are you sitting, or maybe why are you sitting here? Is that PE academy that you started in a couple of years ago. I think that's one of the blueprints for soccer, especially with the Winelands, with this where we are now at the beginning of the curve. Just elaborate on that. It was quite a successful. You had your challenges, and you're gonna elaborate on that. But I think that just that blueprint, how you started that. Just tell us more about that, please.
Thank you, Ashley, for inviting me. Thank you, Eugene, actually, for inviting me. And thank you, everyone, for having me here. Thank you, my SAFA president, for not forget about me. I'm very impressed with that one, introduction. And I'm glad to be here, guys. Actually, I came here in this country from Serbia, not as a coach, but as a lecturer. But fortunately, we have so many football experts here, so I was not needed to lecture anyone, and I stepped back to be the coach, though. And a little bit sarcastic, I'm sorry for that. But what I'm still trying to do is to help the prosperity of the football in this country. I did not come here for like smash and grab or something like that. I came to definitely help much as I can. Although it seems like I didn't help that much, but as we speak, I open academy in Eastern Cape, actually, Port Elizabeth, in request of supporters and the people that were there actually involved in football. And on those requests, I started to do something. Definitely try to put the right structure from beginning. It was a little bit tough, to be honest. I didn't find the exactly species of the structure that I needed, and I still struggling to do that. And the worst of all was that Corona scam that we all struggled with, and actually that exhausts our resources. But back on the structure, I would like to say one thing is that. Guys, we have to face one another and tell one another the truth and the essence and the facts, and to be based on the what happens. As a coach in professional football here, I realized that it's a lack of basic of the football we have. So I'm going straight to the technical point. I'm sorry to speak like a coach, but I have to. Yeah. So yeah, actually, from technical point of view, I must say it's also a lack of development coaches here. Not because we don't have people, we do have people. Not because we don't have ex-players, we do have ex-players. But we brutally undermine that position as a development coach in our country. This is a big mistake we make altogether. So I'm trying to help on that point, where I'm going to give all of my knowledge and experience, unselfish, for many, many younger players who end up the career to become the coaches and definitely became coaches better than I ever was, which is not that difficult, to be honest. So on that matters, I would like to say that this is the step one we need to do in a football. Beside football structure, beside the facilities, it's a lack also, because wherever you go, there is no facilities for football. Or there is no land where you can establish the football facilities. But beside all of those difficulties, the step number one, I think we have to boost our development coaches, which gonna be play major role in technical point of view in the football.
Thank you for that. Who were involved in that? Was it government? Or was it a mixture, a hybrid of government, private sector? Just on that quickly.
Look, obviously I have to start from beginning, ask the permission of SAFA to open that one, because you have to respect your father body there. And I used to work with Mr. Isaac Klaas, who was in charge in Eastern Cape SAFA presidency, or whatever was I think he was the president of SAFA there, that side. So I asked him I have to apply for permission. You go for permission, then you get permission of SAFA, and then you can start to do something.
So we have the permission of SAFA here, and then who else?
Now you have to look for premises. Guys, very important things that the premises play a big role. First of all, you must have lease agreement or have something in concrete writing that you are the one who actually is responsible for facilities. Without that paper, you cannot go to Europe to ask for the resources, okay. Right? And just one small things that I always wanted to say, but I have no opportunity for that, and now is the time. I need 10 seconds, Ashley, for that. Guys, I must say that as a coach, I score many goals. And my teammates score beautiful goals. And as a coach, I witnessed that my players, I coach many good players, and they score a lot of good goals. But the best goal that I ever seen score, Gareth Zatsa, the man from Pequeni. Yeah. So the goal I will never forget. Belongs to Mr. Gareth, and maybe somehow, somewhere, behind the scenes, that approached me to the Pequeni to help in the football matters. Thank you.
Thank you. So we have the structures, we have the lawn, we have the turf, we have the biostimulants. So we can start on more football fields.
We are more than ready to start.
So what we heard now is that there's capacity, even just within this room, there's capacity. There's human resources, there are resources as well available to get to the next level. And that's a good start. Let me get back to Alistair. Alistair, so how you can just pass the mic. How's your experience thus far with the Northern Cape, with that football team there?
I think what initially drew us to that, look, the Northern Cape is very, very poor. Very wealthy, but very, very poor. And the areas where we work on the coast is extremely big, because it's not that there's nothing, there's no industry. So it's where people live, and there's a shop, and that's the extent of it. And often with poaching and other things that's taking root in those areas, and obviously the exchange for poached material and drugs, there's a lot of vulnerable young kids. And this particular coach and team that we are supporting, Young Controllers, he's done a fantastic job turning those boys' lives around. So their trajectory was this, football got involved, and their trajectory turned into this. And what I've always loved about sport is how maybe you don't start off well, but if you stay, if you commit, if you work hard, if you arrive for training, if you are diligent, how your life changes, not just as a sports person, but the person you can end up being as a grown person. Yeah, you are in enterprise and business today because of the foundations that was laid in sport when you were a younger man. So what we are seeing there is that sport is powerful, and it's not just powerful in the Northern Cape. Sport is powerful wherever sport is applied. And as a number of people have said in here, we are in a heartland of talent. There is infrastructure, there is will and drive from the necessary parties to make things happen. I'm just thinking, as you were talking, just from a corporate perspective, it's often, why are you parting with your money to invest in that cause? And maybe that's what we need to be talking to. It's not about necessarily about exposure. The exposure should be secondary. The reason why you're doing is you bring change.
Yeah.
Our country has a trajectory, and even that trajectory we can change through sport, because through sport we come together. You know, a young kid with a poor trajectory can become a leader. All of those things are possible through sport, and everything is here. So that's what I think.
Thank you. Thank you, Alistair. And that brings to a close this section of the evening. Thank you for all your involvement. Thank you for reaching out. Thank you for always just pitching up. Thank you.
And we continue this lovely evening. Thank you, Ashley. We continue this lovely evening with some music from the New Roots Band.
Sound check 1 2.
Good evening and welcome back to our SAFA Cape Winelands football talk show. Joined by our guests, the VIP. First, I'd like to introduce myself. My name is Nosipiwo Madlebe. I'm the head of marketing, media and publicity for SAFA Cape Winelands, but I'm known as Nino. So if you're looking for Nosipiwo, you're not gonna get me. But if you say Nino, then you're definitely gonna get Nino. And Nino, oh yes, it's from Fernando Torres. We have here our 5 teams. It's supposed to be 8, but others have sent their apologies. I will start with the defending champions from my hood. We have on my side, he'll introduce himself and his team and tell us what is it that they are bringing us as the defending champions. Over to you, Ernest.
I'm Ernest Mlindwa from City Killers Football Club in Begwe, Nepal, under the Dragonstein. I'm a defending champion. We won the top 8 last season. It wasn't easy. It wasn't easy, but we were playing at home, so we had to defend it. We had to win it because last season, we played final against FC Cheetahs of Stellenbosch. We lost in the final, so that was our time because we were playing at home. Luckily, on the semi-final, we met them, so we had to revenge to them. So that's how we won it last season. Thank you.
This is absolutely spectacular. And just thinking about tomorrow's that big day. You know, I think you're supposed to be sleeping. You're not supposed to be here. You're supposed to be resting, carbo loading, making sure you have the energy ready for the big day tomorrow. This trophy is here, and, you know, we see all your faces. Who feels like tomorrow they're taking it home?
It's obvious. I have to defend it. It's obvious. I mean, I haven't only won it. I haven't only won the top 8. I also won the league. I was the finalist in the netball.
Okay.
I mean, I will take it.
Listen. The banter is there. The action is there. I don't know if the other guys are up for it.
What I can say is, as he said, they were playing at home, home ground advantage, which now brings me to our next guest, who is the host tomorrow, all the way from Witzenberg. He's from City 11 Stars. They are bringing in, I'm sure they are bringing in the people, because we know Mbekweni is the hub of supporters. That is what we want to see in the Witzenberg area. Do not let Mbekweni and Dragonstein take away your shine tomorrow. Make sure that you bring your A game. Tell us what is your name and what is it that you do in the club.
Thank you very much, Sis-Neno. I'm Nyaniso Kalaka, the manager of City Level Stars. The City Level Stars situated in the Witzenberg area in Ceres. Look, this is an opportunity that we have been waiting. And hopefully my boys will grab with 2 hands. I don't think that they will gonna disappoint our supporters, especially when we are playing home. The home advantage must count for us. But we always say it's only one way to come in and Ceres, but there is no way to come out.
Nina, I must ask you, for everyone watching at home, what is actually up for grabs tomorrow? These guys they're not just there for the sweat. They're also there for something more.
You know, it's our 3rd annual tournament. Now the difference is the prizes are bigger. We
Okay.
have the first prize, which is up by 10,000 now. We have 20,000 for the first
Woo.
prize. We have
Woo.
a 7K for the runners-up, and also for the third place, we have a 3.5 prize money. But that's not all.
Okay.
We have soccer balls. We have also kids. There's so much up for grabs. And also, I do believe I'm gonna put FFG Sports and every other people here who bringing in their pockets that we should have something for the supporters, because that's what we want to do to activate the supporters. We've seen with cricket here at BOLAND with the top 8, there was so much interaction with cricket. That's where I also come in to just bring in the excitement in the stands. So I will now move to these two teams. By the way, those who don't know, they came in. This is their second season in the league, in the men's regional league. They came in and they qualified for the top 8.
Wow.
They were in the top 8, these two. Now I'll move over to the guy from Worcester Spurs. He's from all the way from Brede Valley. Just introduce yourself and your team and a little bit of history of Worcester Spurs.
Oh, thanks. I'm Lincoln Funani, a coach from Worcester Spurs under the Brede Valley Local Football Association. Great pleasure to be here. This season is our second season. In our first season, with inexperienced players, we managed to qualify for a semi-final. We lost against City Killers. So this season is our second season. In Nedbank Cup, we managed to play until we reach up to the finals. We lost against Try Again, of which we've learned the lesson. We're able to get a strategy and a proper planning. So tomorrow we are playing our first top 8. Our first game we are playing against City Killers. We are not scared of them. I think we have a plan to beat them.
I like that. I like that. It's like you're back with a vengeance. I think you should watch your back. The prizes are looking good.
No, we are not scared of them. We are not scared of them.
The action is
We are
good.
not scared of them.
Okay, I like it. I like it. Can you introduce yourself? Tell us a little bit more about your team.
Greeting to the dignitaries first. My name is Siyabonga Pogoloshe. I'm also from Drakenstein LFA, representing African Jaguars. It's just so unfortunate my opponents are not here. Chose to not come tonight. Chose to not come tonight. I wanted to finish it tonight. So by tomorrow everything will be done. But we're in to win it. Thank you.
Fantastic.
Okay, last but not least, we have someone from De Novo United. He's from all the way from Stellenbosch LFA, representing. Tell us a bit about your team and the history behind the team, and also how far did you go in the last top 8?
Hi everyone, I'm Dylan Pritchard. I'm the team manager at the Nova United. We weren't part of the top 8. City Killers managed to just reach an 8th place on goal difference. I think we had to score 5 against them, but we could only beat them 3-0 when they came to our home the last time. But we managed to reach the semi-final of the Nedbank Cup. And the previous 2 Nedbank Cups, we reached the final, which we lost both against Martis in penalty shootouts. So we think we can go there tomorrow. We know some of these guys, when they look at the teams, when they check the draw, they say, oh, the Novo is on our side. We wanted them on the other side because we took some points off 2 of the teams sitting here. I think only the 1 team managed to beat us. So they know we're in for a big shout and they're not going to play.
All right. Thank you guys so much for your time. What I would also like to know now is who is more confident in their players, because season to season is different. You lose players, some go to other places, they relocate. So what you had last season, I believe you had the best season last season, but things might be a little bit different now with all the moving of the players each season. Do you think you can go all the way tomorrow?
Thank you very much for that question. Look, first of all, we are playing on the men's regional league, which means it's one of the development leagues. And in Drakenstein, we've got 2 teams that are playing on ABC Motsepe, which is Mbekweni Sundowns and the FC Battalions. So if you check on the FC Battalions, you'll find out 50% of their players are coming from City Killers. I can mention few of them, Sizwe Jack, there's a lot of players that are playing there coming from City Killers. So we're not scared in terms of planning for the tournament, because this is a once-off tournament. It's not like a tournament that is going to be played for a month. It's a once-off tournament. Our boys are good. And our game at 9 o'clock tomorrow will need our experienced players to show up, which is, I don't want to mention one of our senior players because my colleague will just run away. Because they always, I won't lie, we lost the first round because the reason why we lost, when we get in Worcester, they said, you don't have Lukolo Macibela, which is Torres, our captain, our senior player, who was the top goal scorer of last season. So they said, Torres is not here, which means we're going to win. But now, we're using more young players because our aim, as much as we won't qualify for ABC Motsepe this season, but some of the junior players must play. Our wish is to see them playing for Cape Town City, playing for Stellenbosch FC, even outside Western Cape. There is Orlando Pirates. We've got Luvuyo Memela, who's playing for Richards Bay now. He broke out on PSL when he was 27 years of age. We've got 17 players. We've got under 18 players, which they can still break through professionally. So for now, we are confident. We're going to defend it. There's only one team that have managed to win the league 2 times. There's going to be one team that will manage to win the top 8 2 times. When it was formed, we were playing the final. The second final, we won it. This is the third one. We're going to play against the host. Sorry to predict, but we're going to win it. Thank you.
Thank you, Mzala. It seems that you are scared for City Level Stars, but I'm ready for you.
There's been a lot of talk about Worcester as well, and I think just for guys that actually have boots on the grass, tell us, why is it important for young people to have access to sport like you have?
Yeah, the thing is, what makes so important is because of, there's drugs abuse around our locations, and these small boys are busy hanging on the streets, so we are trying to fight this crime, by taking these boys to the fields. Yeah.
Fantastic. And girls also like muscles, so rather, be on the sports field and get some muscles.
Of course. I was very hurt when FIFA or whoever is in charge decided that for celebration you mustn't remove your shirt anymore. I was deeply hurt. Now they get booked for that, which means no more muscles for us, but it's fine. So what I can say now to close off is good luck to everyone. May the best team win tomorrow. This is what you're playing for. You're playing for the bragging rights. You're playing for just to boost the morale of the team. So whoever is going out there, make sure that you have your soldiers ready to fight. The battlefield in Ceres, I hear that it's ready. The lines have been drawn. So yours tomorrow is to just go out there and give it your best shot and know that this is, you might not be doing very well in the league, City Killers. You might have given up on the promotion, but it's a whole different ball game, literally, when it comes to tournaments. It's a one-day thingy, and it just goes. Yeah, you know, Mos, with if I can make a reference with Orlando Pirates Mzala, that played against Maluti FC and they lost and they didn't think that they would lose. This one is Mzala, which means cousin in Xhosa. He's Mzala for everyone. So he's everyone's cousin. So may the best team win, and thank you so much for gracing us with your presence. Thank you.
Nino, there was a part of your speech that sounded almost like on that movie Braveheart before they go into battle. And I think these guys are going into battle. So thank you for the inspiration. We are wrapping it up. But before we do, we of course have to hear from the Vice President.
Yes, most definitely.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you very much. My duty is just to thank everybody for coming here tonight, from the mayor to the municipal manager, the director, executive director, SAFA Cape Winelands president, SAFA Western Cape vice president, and NEC member, executive member of SAFA Cape Winelands, FFG Sports, Nedbank on your absence, everybody else who is here tonight, thank you very much for honoring this invitation to SAFA Cape Winelands football. This is where we are going to start with the development of football in this region. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much. There's nothing left for me to say. He has said quite a lot. And I would like to personally thank this. Is my personal dream, and it has been since I joined SAFA Cape Winelands in 2020. My dream was to have a magazine show where I can be a bridge for supporters and the managers and also the executive, a place where a hub where we can just have exposure because there's football on the pitch, but there's also outside of the pitch where people can just get to know SAFA Cape Winelands. So this is a great platform. The name of the magazine that I wanted to have was going to be On the Ball. It didn't happen, but fairy godmothers, or should I say fathers, from FFG Sports came in and they brought in a much bigger space for me to have my dream realized. Thank you.
An absolutely fabulous evening. Thank you so much to everyone who's participated and been part of this. And thank you for the celebration of love, sport, and community.
I know who's going to win. They're playing on the Roy Cup, ne? Yes. He's wearing red.
Well done, guys. Good luck for tomorrow. Good luck, Denovo.
I'll see you tomorrow.
Good luck, Denovo. You know, well done. Good luck, brothers. See you tomorrow in the Roy Cup. You'll be there, Kila. Thank you very much. Thank you, brother. See you then. Thank you, man. Yes, what a great show. Thank you.